Hello viewer, today I will describe the supersecondary structure, tertiary structure as well as quaternary structure of the protein. I will discuss about the characterization and types of supersecondary structure, characterization and types of tertiary structure, as well as characterization and method to detect the quaternary structure. As well as I will discuss about the component of the structure, that is module, motif, fold as well as domain structure. As we know that the combination arrangement of the secondary structure is actually given by the supersecondary structural motif. Now, supersecondary structural motifs are getting folded to give the tertiary structure, which is actually bound via different interaction like disulfide interaction, ion-ion interaction, van der Waal and hydrophobic interaction and hydrogen bonding. Now, fourth level of organization of protein structure is actually spatial arrangement of the polypeptide chain is getting folded into domain structure. That is actually given for the enzyme activity, regulation of the catalytic site. If the same types of the domain or subunit is present, homoterm is given. If different types of the subunit, heteroterm is given. So, that is very much related with the subunit interaction. As we know that Rinch has first proposed the prediction of protein structure is actually related with the geometry. Characteristics. So, if we think the secondary structure is unit like alpha helix and beta sheet, then two units will be described as supersecondary structure. So, it is the arrangement or assembly of secondary structure in 2D or 3-dimensional space. Types involved. It includes helix supersecondary structure, sheet supersecondary structure as well as mixed supersecondary structure. From the picture, it is evidence that in case of helix supersecondary structure, different helices are joined by the loops. Types. It includes helix hairpin, helix corner, helix loop helix and helix turn helix. First one, helix hairpin. You can follow, it is look like a hairpin. So, two anti-parallel alpha helices are joined by a loop of large polypeptide, maybe of 2 to 16 residues. If very short 2 residues are there, then 2 helices are closely compact via non-covalent hydrophobic interaction. Helix corner. Now, 2 helices are right angled with each other. It may also be called as alpha-alpha corner. You can follow the ligand binding site at the loop of hydrophobic region. Helix loop helix. Here we can follow the flexibility of the 2 helices at any direction which are joined by the large polypeptide, and these helix loop helix is very important, and these have the carboxylic acid domain at the loop region which is able to bind with the ligand calcium, and you can follow their presence in case of DNA binding protein. The DNA binding homeodomain protein is also found in case of helix turn helix motif. Here you can find the 2 helices are joined by the beta turn. The helices may be parallel or anti-parallel to each other that can change the direction of the protein. Next, sheet supersecondary structure exclusively made by the beta strands or beta sheets. Types, it includes beta hairpin, beta corner as well as Greek key motif. The first one, beta hairpins. Sometimes it is also called as beta meander. Here 2 anti-parallel strands are joined by either loop or turn. So, if it is very short, it is joined by the beta turn. You can follow the presence of glycine in one anti-parallel strand, and to remove the steric hindrance on other side, the beta bulge is present. Beta corner or beta bend. Here actually once again the beta corner is produced by making a corner of 2 beta strands. In case of beta corner also, which actually also help to abrupt change in the protein direction, because one strand may contain glycine, other strand may contain beta bulge as well. Greek key motif. Now, in case of Greek key motif, 4 sequentially arranged alternate anti-parallel beta strands are joined by the large polypeptide chain. The first strand and fourth strand is joined by the large long loop of polypeptide. In gamma crystalline, you can follow the presence of such Greek key motif. It is looking like a Greek key structure. mixed supersecondary structure made by both alpha helices as well as beta sheets joined by the loops and turns. Types, it includes beta alpha beta motif as well as Roseman fold. The beta alpha beta motif, in spite of having anti-parallel beta helices or beta turns or beta strands, you can follow the parallel beta turns or beta strand joined by the long helix, and it is right handed, and the helix axis is also parallel with the beta strand. So this is called beta alpha beta motif. Roseman fold. According to the name of the scientist, it is called as Roseman fold. So there are 3 beta strands and 2 alpha helices are there. Suppose it is started from N terminus end, beta, then alpha, then beta, then alpha, then again beta at the C terminus end. It is found in case of dehydrogenase enzyme which binds at the NAD+. As we know that tertiary structure is once again the motif of supersecondary structure are getting folded in the 3-dimensional space via different types of interaction, hydrophobic, ion-ion, disulfide interaction as well. So they have compactness, and we can find the distant amino acid residues by compact folding are coming together to describe the enzyme regulation, enzyme activity as well. And we can find here the presence of charge-charge interaction model. So it is according to the nucleation condensation model. So we find it is time taken as well as input of energy is needed for the local folding of the tertiary structure, and a particular random coil is given to make a particular fold to have this particular structure having nucleation and condensation intermediates. And we can find the random coil index during the course of this particular folding. Let's talk about the components of the tertiary structure, including domain, module, motif and fold. Domain is the folding of polypeptide chain giving particular structure and function. It is actually found in case of tertiary as well as subunit in case of quaternary structure. Now the module, it is the contiguous part having the particular property in case of polypeptide chain. Next, motif. So motif is by which the supersecondary structure is getting folded. The way of the supersecondary structure is getting arranged in the tertiary structure. And the fold, so again overlapping and non-overlapping ways how the folds are combined together. Next, characteristics of the domain. According to the Reynolds-Guhr, it was actually proposed that the domain have specific definition. It may contain 100 to 2000 amino acid residues, and they are actually made the compact structure. In case of tertiary structure, we can find the hydrophobic residues are buried inside by making hydrophobic interactions, and hydrophilic side chains are protruded outside to interact with the solvent residue thermodynamically possible ways. Let's talk about the characteristics of the domain. First, it is very structural stable unit, so that can be taken for the proteolysis. Structural unit, so that can be taken for the X-ray analysis. Very important genetic unit, so it can be compared the protein sequence, amino acid sequence with the DNA RNA sequence also. Evolutionary unit, by which the exon DNA intron structure can be compared with the protein structure as well. Evolutionary unit as well as it is the functional unit to show a particular function property as well. It is very discrete unit by which the polypeptide chain is getting folded. It is thermodynamic unit by which it has native and denatured conformation by folding as well as unfolding. Now the properties of tertiary structure. Here I will discuss about the different folding having different functions as well as the pattern of folding, because varieties of globular protein have different function as well as different pattern of folding. I will discuss about the bonds involved as well as factors determining the tertiary structure. First, the different types of globular protein have different fold as well as different function. They can be taken for the transport of metabolite. They can be taken for many other prospects of the metabolism, as well as globular protein have respiratory function like myoglobin, hemoglobin, etc. Apart from which the pattern of folding, it is very much kinetically controlled, thermodynamically controlled, a pathway dependent process, a cooperative process giving either single or multiple domain. Next, factors affecting. Here we can find the presence of thermodynamic factor. You know that there are unfavorable entropy, which actually is against the folding, but it helps in the random coil formation, as well as favorable entropy for the side chain interaction prefers folding, and favorable entropy for hydrophobic interactions actually help to proper fold. So the hydrophobic interactions are buried inside to interact within themselves to make the compact fold globular structure. Apart from thermodynamic factor, there is also some environmental factor regarding pH and solvation power of the medium to stabilize the tertiary structure. Let's talk about the bonds stabilizing tertiary structure. You can follow the presence of ionic bond. So, what is the aim of tertiary structure? So, distantly associated amino acids will come closer, they will interact and make the fold. You can follow the disulfide bond. You can follow the presence of hydrophobic interaction, as well as hydrogen bond is made within the amino acid, within the amide bond, within the amide, as well as side chains, and the hydrogen bonds made by the side chains of the amino acids. Types. So types of tertiary structure include all alpha structure, all beta structure, mixed alpha by beta structure, mixed alpha plus beta structure, as well as other tertiary structure. Now all alpha structure that is made solely by the alpha helices. So sometimes it is called as alpha domain also in case of quaternary structure. You can follow in glucagon the presence of single helix. You can follow the presence of helix turn helix or helix loop helix in case of prealbumin, parvalbumin. The helix bundle of 4 helices together that can be found in case of cytochrome C. You can find the 3 helix bundles also. In case of globin chain, in case of globin like hemoglobin, myoglobin, several helices are joined as hand, EF hand, etc. You can follow various other types of globin fold in immunoglobulins also. All beta structures solely made by the beta turns or the beta strands. Here it may be the beta barrel structure, looks like a barrel, make the team barrel or porine-like structure. There are 3 types are there, ups and down barrel, Greek key barrel. You can follow the jelly roll or Swiss roll barrel, apart from which alpha by beta meander is also present, and you can follow sometimes it is made also with the alpha helices which are anti-parallel with each other. So in this way barrel makes a porine-like structure within the hydrophobic core of the transmembrane protein. You can follow the flattened beta sandwich-like structure. So the first strand is not yet hydrogen bonded with the fourth or last strand. You can follow the splayed corner as well as closed corner here in beta sandwich. Mixed alpha by beta structure. It is made usually by the interconnected or alternate alpha and beta helices like Roseman fold. Okay, so thioredoxin and there are different types of proteins that they are made by this mixed alpha by beta structure at N and C terminal domain. Mixed alpha plus beta structure. So alpha and beta sheets are segregated within the protein. In case of carbonic anhydrase containing zinc, you can follow the presence of these structure. Irregular tertiary structure made by the random coil having no structural specific geometry. In snake toxin, you can follow their presence. Next, tertiary structure interpretation. By X-ray, NMR crystallographic structure, tertiary structure is well interpreted. So, in the crystalline structure, native conformation can be known, where you can find at the globular compact structure at the outer region aspartic acid, the carboxyl containing amino acids are present, and within the core isoleucine, valine, they are interacted to give the hydrophobic interaction. Serine threonine can present over the surface as well as interior core to impart the hydrogen bonding. So these particular thing has various types of motif tertiary structure. So this tertiary structure of the R chain have relaxed conformation towards the end. These tertiary structure containing supersecondary motif have specific types of interaction. They are recorded in the database like Roseman fold, different types of fold having structure and function relationship for the protein. Next, prediction of the tertiary structure. It is very important. It can be done by computer analysis. So either computer analysis or by the X-ray crystallography that can be known. So the direct way is to track the random coil how it is getting folded. Okay, so by having the random coil index. Otherwise we can have cusp experiment by which we can have the idea how it is getting modulated, it is folded. Liners is the algorithm program by which tertiary structure can be interpreted, can be predicted as well. Apart from which there is a two-dimensional TOPS diagram by which the structure can be mapped, conformational map, where the beta strand gives the triangle, alpha helix is circular. Okay, so the topology of the protein is actually described here. Characteristics. So the alpha chain or the polypeptide is folded to give the subunit structure which is symmetrically involved. So it is actually made for the allostericity, cooperativity, to give particular subunit interaction, protein assemblies, and here we also can find they can associate via hydrophobic interaction, salt bridge interaction, hydrogen bond and disulfide interaction. Once again, if all these subunits have same conformation, homoterm is given, homomar, homotetramer, or if the subunit vary according to the conformation, symmetry level, interaction, the heteromultimeric protein. Maybe the single domain, maybe the multiple domain, can be genetically engineered, can also be changed. So alpha domain globin chain is found in case of immunoglobulin. So they are actually completely folded in different domain and subunit structure. Now when we are talking about their nomenclature, single subunit monomer, double subunit dimer found in insulin. So twofold axis of symmetry is found in dimer. Trimer found in collagen as well as tetramer, hemoglobin. We can find the polymer or multimer of the subunit. Now individual domain function. Individually they have different types of function like metabolic transport, cell regulation, cell signaling, catalysis, cellular locomotion as well as allostericity. And here it is cooperativity well described. Allostericity means change in the subunit of one particular subunit, the conformation and structural chain can be imparted to other subunit with respect to the conformation as well as with respect to the function as well. So it gives the cooperativity, that is change in function as well, enzyme structure, enzyme function, regulation, etc. Importance, subunit interaction as well as symmetric interaction. Here we can follow proper symmetric and pseudo-symmetric interaction. Significance. So we can see by Anfinson dogma experiment, only within the polypeptide chain particular message how to fold is given, it is carried. Now there are different propensities of alpha helix and beta sheets, how they will fold, and ultimately that is the co-assemblies of the subunits together involving in protein assembly, subunit interaction, maybe single domain or multi-domain, having different types of homopolymeric or heteropolymeric interaction. Now this actually proves one gene, one subunit type of hypothesis, and these particular domain can be separable involving in type of interactions, and then when they will be buried inside 100 to 200 angstrom, they are actually having a type of hydrophobic interaction like tertiary folding itself. Bonds involved like tertiary structure, quaternary structure of disulfide interaction, ionic salt bridge interaction among NH3 plus of lysine and COO minus of the aspartic acid of the 2 domain found in the hemoglobin integrity. Hydrogen bond, hydrophobic interaction, van der Waal interaction, all of the interactions are found in case of quaternary structure to make. Now prediction of the quaternary structure. Determination can be done by the chemical probing method, and cusp experiment help to predict the quaternary structure, apart from which some sort of covalent modification is actually needed after or during the course of folding. Like we can have the presence of hydroxyproline in case of collagen, the gamma carboxyglutamate in case in presence of prothrombin, important for blood clotting. So there are several methods. What are they? Suppose to determine the mass, that is very important sedimentation equilibrium method, as well as the size, mass, etc. directly or indirectly can be determined by light scattering as well as NMR and X-ray crystallography to know the subunit interaction in case of quaternary structure of protein. So students, I have discussed about different aspects, characterization, types as well as methods for super secondary structure which actually give rise to the tertiary structure, and the fourth level of organization, quaternary structure. In case of some protein, that tertiary structure is optimum because it is monomeric protein. But in case of multimeric protein where more than one subunit is present, not only the tertiary structure but also subunit assembly or subunit interaction is given by the different types of small tertiary structure to give rise to the quaternary structure. Myoglobin is tertiary structure, that is same as alpha or beta chain of the hemoglobin. One contains 141 amino acids, other contains 146 amino acids. So that is the main message. Thank you.